Hey guys, it's Patrice. So it's right before 4th of July weekend, and it's tarot time. So it's funny because under the deck was the Hierophant, and the Hierophant has, it's usually structure. So it's been called the Pope in some of the other tarots, and it's kind of like, it's literally those systems, some of our oldest systems of control, right? So it's kind of interesting. So we just stopped. So the card that jumped out while I was shuffling is the Emperor. And so the Emperor, that's the embodiment of all four kings. And the Emperor is amazing because, of course, the Emperor has a lot of power, but an out of balance Emperor is actually dangerous. So it's interesting because of where our world is. It's that same energy of the Emperor, if it's an Emperor who believes that, you know, the word own, right? The word own, that's what keeps coming up for me. So if you're the kind of Emperor and you're like, I own this land, right? And you expect that because you own everything as that Emperor, that everything is supposed to give to you, right? If you're working from your ego and you believe that everyone needs to service you, right? If that's the kind of Emperor you are, it feels like that's what our world is right now, right? Then you get, well, you know, you get a certain amount of results. And at the same time, the Emperor also, in this Emperor energy, when it's a balanced Emperor, that balanced divine masculine and feminine, when they're not in their ego, when they're in their highest self, that service to others, when you're that kind of a leader, and you say, I own people, right? Like when you own someone, you take care of it, you nurture it. Right? So I'm sure we've all like known the dudes that like to take care of their cars and their wallets and their everything just perfectly, right? And sometimes for me, at least, because I don't always take care of things, like it has been frustrating. Although I was always quite envious of someone that could take such amazing care of things. And that's the kind of Emperor that we really want, is when you're in that balance, when you know that like owning something means to care for it. It doesn't mean that that it's going to do things for you, but ownership is like, you know, that sovereignty, you know, the way that we take care of our children and our places. So that's the kind of Emperor that I think we have the option to. And you guys know that I talk about that moon energy, and it's that same thing. Really, all of us, right? We're all, whatever coin we're on, we've got two sides, and we may only show the sides that we want to most people. Although I always like show my worst, actually. It's one of my, I'm sure I'm very provocative and freak people out sometimes, you know, when I have some of those conversations. But that's my way of testing, like, who's really around me with all things, and who's just there when I'm perfect, right? So we're all two sides of a coin, and I think that that's what our energy that we're in right now. And my leg is wagging, which, you know, that means that's when the energy is coming through from source. If I get the goosebumps, then we know it's a real message. But, you know, in this energy right now, we're having kind of like I've been talking about this for a while, the Emperor's new clothes kind of a thing. We're starting to see every side. Like, it used to be easy because we could trust people and they would guide us. And right now it feels like there's a lot more truth than any of us are comfortable with. Things are coming out left and right. And if we don't have those skills to really like trust our instincts and our gut, it can be really confusing right now. So I think that for everybody, this is about a lot of faith, and this is faith amid doubts. Like, the universe is not giving us a clear-cut, easy path. The universe is removing gray area, and so that we're starting to kind of have to, I think, again, go within mostly, and also to see things as they actually are. And that's uncomfortable. And I think we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing a lot of things that we may be formally aligned with, or people that we thought we were similar to, that might be behaving in a way that's like, whoa, you are out of balance in some way, right? And balance equals happiness in the tarot and in nature, really. So, you know, again, happy Emperor, wonderful. I told my kids this forever. We didn't always have the easiest time in schools, and sometimes I would say, like, I would rather have the kid that was bullied. Like, I'm sorry you're having to go through this, but I don't want the bully for my kid. Like, that wouldn't be okay, right? Happy people want everyone else to be happy. So happy Emperor, balanced Emperor means everyone. There's more for everyone. And an unhappy, a fearful, an insecure Emperor, someone who has power and those baser, lesser qualities, right? Survival, if they're in their survival, then they're always going to be using their power to harm others. So that's the energy that is coming through. Wow, big message on just the first card. So I better put my glasses on for this baby. Here we go. Gotta get book smart. So here we go, 9 of Pentacles, and this is the card of Independence. So I just mentioned all of that about like power, the powers that be, and being careful where we put our power, and the card of Independence comes up. So this is minor arcana, which means this is free will. There is a card of Independence that you can have, that's major arcana, which means the universe is giving it to us. The universe is not giving it to us. The universe is giving us the opportunity to use our free will to choose our own sovereignty, to choose our own independence. Perfect for this week, to choose our own freedom and to be aware When in that situation have you given up your power to someone? And has it been someone who's happy, who's using it to better everyone? Or are you giving it to someone who's in survival mode? It doesn't matter how nice this person thinks that they are, wants to be, right? Even if they believe their own BS. When people, when animals, when anything is in survival mode, they will behave first for themselves and then for everyone else. So we have to start paying attention to where do we see people, places, things, habits, addictions, like whatever that is in our life, where are we giving our power to? And this is asking us about that independence, right? So this is, again, this is your free will. The universe is not making it clear. You have to decide based on what you feel. Things will look a certain way. And what we usually, in the tarot, it has, you know, the angel energy and devil energy, and people are like, ew, creepy. But the funny thing is that people follow devil energy all the time. Devil energy is telling you what you want to hear, right? That's that 5 of Swords, winning at all costs. That's believing the easy thing. That things aren't that easy, right? We have to build a castle, or we can build a house of cards. It's that same energy. So this is for us to use our free will and understand that that's our power. And what do we have underneath that? Justice. Okay, there's the universe right behind it. So you can use it, but just so you know, justice has your back. So when you're getting that instant karma and it stings, it's a blessing. It's saving you from going too much deeper down the wrong path. So you need to like really see that. Look at that. This is a beautiful like little fairy of justice. Like this is a happy, benevolent butterfly, right? It may not always feel good, but this is like the angel basically that's giving you this opportunity, and it's based on balance, right? We talked about balance being what? Happiness, right? So know that like this is saving you to happiness, but if it stings when you go too far, if you use your free will wrong, it's going to sting. So the minute you feel it sting, you just go back in the other direction. It's really easy. So use your free will. The universe is going to tell you when it stings, so you just go back the other way. And do one more to see what we have fueling this, because this is already very powerful. And there's the Chariot. So the Chariot, that is moving forward, and guess who drives the Chariot? Is a balanced emperor, because if you have one animal going this way and one animal going that way and you're out of balance, then it's going to crash, right? So that emperor who's driving it, sorry, I have an itchy back. That emperor that's driving this chariot, if it's not in balance, so we got to pay attention who we give our power to, is going to crash it, because the animals have to be balanced. If not, they're going to fight for their power, right? He's got bulls. These are stubborn energy, right? And the bulls, that kind of represents our financial system quite a bit. So like there's a lot to be said. I mean, you could get into like what's going on with the food. There's all kinds of symbolism in here. So whatever it is, that chariot, we need to make sure that our systems are in order. And remember, we started this with like the Hierophant on there. Holy crap, we haven't even started the reading, and like already there's so many messages that truly apply. So let's see what we got. Okay, 10 of Pentacles, the Magician, the Hierophant, that's the card I talked about. That's cool. And the 5 of Cups. So on the outside, I always read these together. So the 10 of Pentacles, this is really building a foundation of happiness. It takes a long time to grow a tree, right? Look how happy they are. That tree is what keeps them together. And again, whatever that foundation is, it needs to be something that you're planting seeds and you're nurturing and you're tending. Look at, that's a sculpted tree. It's actually become quite artful. So it's kind of one of those things. And it says at the top, I forgot about that. This is one of those cards that says extra stuff. It says wealth in here, right? So wealth, how do we see our wealth? Wealth is built. Getting rich, you can do quick, right? There's get rich quick schemes. I've never heard of a get wealthy quick scheme. That takes a long time, sometimes generations, right? So it's what are we doing to nurture the things that give us true wealth? And wealth doesn't have to be money. Wealth is health, freedom, independence, abundance, all of that stuff. And so we have the 5 of Cups. And so this, oh my God, this is such perfect energy right now. So the 5 of Cups is someone that, is mourning the loss of 3 cups. And 3 cups is usually celebration. So they're mourning a season of celebration. Aren't we all? Aren't we all missing like what life was a few years ago when everything was like, everything was easy. Oh my God. We're like, oh, I'm a hard worker. You're like, yeah, it's real easy to work hard in easy conditions. Like, how hard is it now? And so a lot of us are mourning what has been lost, well, all these changes that have happened. But we forget that there's 2 cups right here. The real stuff that matters is still there. This is usually illusion and delusion. So we're still chasing what we've missed because it felt good. That was probably that devil energy, like the stuff that was fun and easy. That wasn't real, right? We build a tree little by little. So this is just saying, like, when we focus on our 2 cups, what real true love is, then we can definitely, ignoring a call here, that's when we start slowly building that tree, right? And we sculpt that. And look at the difference between the night and day. So you can choose to be in your sadness if you want. You're welcome to that. Or you can come and join the sunshine and create something. And most of us already have this tree. Notice that this tree doesn't have a lot of bushes on it, right? Like everyone thinks, oh, I got to have a lot of leaves, like whether that's money or beauty or whatever that is. This one doesn't. it's a healthy tree that isn't obviously healthy, right? It has like gems or whatever that's on there. It still is bearing fruit, but it's not an obvious tree. It's not one of the most beautiful, like, no one's like, oh God, look at these leaves. They're fantastic, right? It's gonna be a little, you're not gonna get a whole lot on there, but that's because this is not a normal tree. This isn't just like a seasonal lose your leaves. This is the kind of tree that, like, again, is generational wealth. It's different than you've ever seen, but it's happiness and joy. So there's the sun. Okay, in the middle, we got two major arcana cards. So this is the Magician, which is the power of everything. I haven't used this deck in probably a year. It is one of my really dear friends. I consider this her deck because it's usually I only read for her with it. So this is interesting because this is the Magician, and look how it has the power of the universe up there. We've got the Merkaba. There's all kinds of stuff, and if anyone pays any attention to astrology, astronomy, there's definitely a lot going on scientifically. If anyone's been doing any sort of a spiritual journey or work, we all can feel it with the energy. There's all kinds of, so it's interesting stuff and interesting times. And here we are. It looks like he is using, right, the air, the land, the sea, the fire, the water, like it's all right there. And a lot of times what I feel about this energy is we keep trying to get the ocean, the love, the joy, the universe to come to us on our terms. And when that happens, that's when we're living in the surf. So the waves crashing on us all the time. And just when you think that you've got it, you're like, oh my God, thank God, that was a lot of waves. Well, the waves can come back again because it's always constant motion. The only way to find peace at the beach is either to go backwards on the land, which we're running out of land, it feels like. We all need to face ourselves, or to go deeper into the ocean. And the most peace in the ocean is actually at the depths. You'll see like silt, the stuff doesn't even move, right? You don't feel it because you're protected. So we want to kind of have that feeling with ourselves when we're looking for peace. We go into our own depths. If we continue to expect the world to come to us, that means that we're living at the edge of the ocean. Universe, come to me. I need you to deliver to me. I don't want to do any deep work. I don't really want to go into myself. I'm just going to expect you to keep bringing it. I'll keep bringing it, but just so you know, I'm going to keep crashing onto that ocean. And so that's what we're feeling. But this is the Magician that's saying we have the power we have all of that power. I talked about the Emperor has all that power of the four kings. The Magician is the power of the elements. This is the one that last week I talked about. I kept calling it the Musician. And it's interesting because in that card, it was like an owl, and it looks like, again, it's writing a spell. Think about it. There's a magic wand, and the only other person that I know of that has a job that uses a wand is a magician. They literally create energy in the room while they're conducting, right? That's basically the same thing. We all have learned that energy can heal, it can cause pain. There's all kinds of stuff regarding music and vibration. So again, this is literally using that inside of us, the music of our lives, who we are, to create magic. You can hear how passionate this is, like just coming out of me. So I really feel it. And then here's the Hierophant, which I talked about before. And the Hierophant is, again, it's called the Pope in some things. It's that old structure, but look how neat this one is. It's really interesting because I just was saying the old structure, and we think of like the old churches. That's only a couple thousand years. This guy's like, no. The real Hierophant isn't structures of what you guys live within. It isn't your governments and your churches. That's not what it is. The real old is going all the way back to nature. The real Hierophant is the person that communed with trees. It's that full-on connection with everything in your life. That's the real system. The real system is nature. All that other stuff is just complication that humans chose, and most of it is for profit. And good on them, right? They created a system. It was working out, and a lot of us, I got to have a really fun life in the system that they created for a very long time. A lot of people do not and never have had that opportunity. So I'm very grateful that no matter how hard my challenges have been, I got a real nice hand. So I was able to really live in the systems of our world at a really high level and with a lot of luxury and a lot of pleasure and all of those things that very few people do. I mean, we're top 1% just by being in America to begin with. If you're eating, you're luckier than that. If you have technology, you're luckier than that. If you have the freedom to see this, great. If someone gives you an opinion so that you can watch stuff like this, right? How lucky and how blessed are we? But all of that was created, that's made us real comfortable over our lifetimes. None of that is what's true. What's true is that the real systems are oxygen and air. It's water and fire and wind and all of those things that are way, way bigger than us. And this is what it's wanting us to do, is to communicate and to go within and to realize we do have that power. Look at the cooling colors, right? We had, this is just like that soothing blue, which is throat chakra, and this is the heart chakra. And so this is just really like service to others, service to love. Like, first we have to love ourselves before we can love others, you know. Like Susan Scott in Fierce Conversation says, every conversation is first with ourselves and sometimes involves other people. It's probably the best book I've ever read. I've given away dozens of copies because it's so good. So if anyone is